Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to Orbital Gaming. We're here to talk about E3, and on my show I have our guest, Ben. If you could just say,
Hello.
hey, Ben. uh, yeah, we're basically gonna talk about like what we think about E3 and all of the things that we saw, all the things we liked, all the things we didn't like, and kind of just tear into it. And I'm gonna basically talk about like how well I did with my predictions earlier in the week. So basically, we're gonna be starting off with EA and their presentation. So we're gonna kind of work our way backwards because the biggest announcement was Anthem, which
Hmm.
is BioWare's new IP. They got like mech suits with jetpacks and they're going underwater and all this other crazy stuff. It looks pretty cool for what it is. I'm not sure. Like it seemed a lot of like scripted recordings, but it could be cool. They have a cool idea. I just hope that they go further in with it. What do you think, Ben?
I I like the trailer. It
Mm-hmm.
was definitely very cinematic. I don't think what they showed, that being more of a cinematic trailer rather than a gameplay trailer, I don't think it's going to play like how we saw it. And I'm noticing a lot of that in these pseudo MMOs shooters that come out from Ubisoft and EA and all the big names, where of course the UI is going to take up most of the screen, or the game's just going to be playing a lot more quickly. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but the game's just going to be faster paced than what we saw. It's not going to be your your guy's going to feel much lighter, I guess is what I'm trying to say when it comes to the combat. When I saw them pick up the gun, it kind of reminded me of how it kind of reminded me of how I played Division. It's going to be very random. I don't know how they're going to balance out effort to reward. These pseudo MMOs really drop the ball on that sort of thing. So I'm kind of skeptical about it, but it looks great. I mean, I bet you can agree with me on that one. The graphics look great. The environment looks very good, and the first person talking to everybody on the streets, getting a job. That's basically the whole freelancer fantasy that I have when I play games like this. So yeah.
So yeah, with Anthem, I noticed a lot of stuff going on too. It's very cinematic, very story based. Now, one of the things I'm not so sure about, I'd have to look into more, is whether it's an MMORPG, if it's just a multiplayer game where you can invite your friends to play with you, or if there's like a co-op thing. I don't know, but the I think I think one of my issues, I guess, is that it seemed um it seemed very like anti-aliased, like just like it was, and it was very scripted. It was just a presentation of like an early look, I guess. And it's hard for me to really like develop an opinion about something that's so early on. But I've seen this kind of presentation before, and it seemed really just lifeless. It felt like it wasn't like ready to be presented yet. There wasn't enough there. There was no UI hardly. Like there was some, but like it wasn't really like there. The game mechanics didn't seem like all there except for what they showed us. Like it didn't seem like there was a lot other than like the movement animations were there. Like when the guy was shooting out rockets and lasers and guns and all that good stuff. Like I mean, the combat looked cool, but it also looked like it was like an MMO. Like it had like the targeting like things going on and whatnot. And I don't know. It looks like it could be cool, but I think we have to wait a long time before we can really start like forming like an opinion on it. That's just my
Right.
take on it, anyways.
Right. To go along with what kind of multiplayer we would be seeing, we've seen a mission like this in these multiplayer games before, where some people might need help, so they would call in more people. I think that's what the cinematic in the beginning was. He asked the girl, "Hey, I hired out some guys and they're missing. So your mission is to go find these guys." And once they rescued them, it became it turned from a 2-person co-op to a 4-person co-op. I don't know if there was more people in there, but you did end up rescuing some friends or something.
So what you're saying is that they integrated like the co-op, like when you brought somebody in, like in a story type manner. That's actually, I didn't actually even know, I guess, pay attention to that or notice that.
Oh yeah.
That's actually really cool. I don't think I've ever seen a game do that, now that I think about it. Like where it's just like, hey, like there's 2 players, in the lobby or whatever. If you complete
Right.
this particular objective, they'll be loaded into your game world and it'll be like, yay, you saved your buddies or whatever. And
Right.
I think that's cool. That could be really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll go ahead.
just no, it's just like it's very dynamic, and so I think that
Yeah.
that shows, I guess, some promise. I guess that's redeeming. I don't know. I guess I didn't really draw a lot from it at first. So if you're mentioning
Mhm.
that and that's true, then yeah, I'll definitely I'll have to look into that later on.
Yeah, from so that mission, well, how this mission was presented before in earlier games, in the Division, in the Dark Zone, you had a choice. You saw people who needed help, or you can attack them along with people who were attacking them as well, and you could steal their loot or something. This dynamic, hey, these people need help. This can make that choice a little bit more binary. And that's not a bad thing, because this means like, oh, you get a reward for helping these people, or you get a reward from taking them down.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be competition.
Yeah.
With,
And,
yeah.
and the thing is that I don't think I've ever seen a game where it like rewarded you. Well, I mean, most games reward you with like items or experience or money or valuables, whatever have you. Like I've never seen a game where it like you did something like and accomplished a goal or a mission or an objective, and it rewarded you with the ability to like play with more players, like have those players included in your game world or whatever. And I think that's I don't know, but we got to move on. Or else it's gonna be a really long podcast. So the next game that EA talked about was A Way Out, which is a cooperative story-based campaign game where you and a buddy, and it's only co-op. There is no single player to this game. Where you and a buddy
Right.
play as certain characters and break out of prison, and it looked really, really, really cool. I'm a big advocate of games that you can play with your friends in a non-typical manner, and this looked like that. It wasn't just like a cooperative game where you accomplish an objective together, but like it was so what's the word for it? It was so just fluid. It was fluid.
Yeah.
It just like you go into the game world, and like what you do and the way you handle it changes the way that the game will be in the future, where like that, and that's been done before, but the way that it's done is it's so I can't explain it. It's just something you'd have to see for yourself. If you haven't seen,
Right.
If you guys out there haven't seen A Way Out, you should check into it, but it's really cool. Ben, what do you have to say about the game? Because I'm really interested in it.
Well, first, this is a new genre that I've been seeing in sort of the survival style. The breakout genre is fairly new. We have the Escapists, we have Prison Architect, two of my favorite games actually, for two of my favorite arcade titles actually. But the break out of jail genre is really it's sort of 2D, but we're seeing this in sort of a cinematic setting. We have characters. We have we're probably going to see a heck of a lot more characters inside this prison. We're going to have factions, gangs. We're going to see police. These two are obviously going to have motives of their own.
Yeah.
There's going to be conflict of interest. We don't see this so far with these sandbox 2D titles where you have to break out of prison or you're building a prison, and that's a great dynamic I think EA went with.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it's going to be a theatrical experience. I don't know about the moments, because usually with games like this where it's very linear, not very linear, but where it's, hey, there's a waypoint over there, you have to get the clothes into that hamper because this pocket in the side of this jean is a screwdriver you could use to escape. Anyway, that's going to be very like hold B to make this happen instead of like your guy picking it up and then yeah.
And the dynamic storytelling, going back to that, the dynamic storytelling is what's getting me, because like the way you handle a scenario, like later in the game, that could change the whole future of the game. So even though you've played through it already with one buddy, you could be like, all right, so well, I've already played through it, but my other buddy wants to check out the game and I haven't, and he doesn't, and he can come over and you two can play it together, and it could be a totally different game. And I love the cinematic like viewpoint, like the way it's done. It looks like a director like made of like a film, like a Hollywood film, made the game, because like if you see like the camera like changes sizes, like sometimes like one player will have more of the screen than the other if he's doing something a little more relevant, or vice versa. Like it makes it like almost like a comic book, like Hollywood like way of looking at it, and I like that too. I've never seen that before either. So this game looks like it has a lot of potential, but we'll see in the future, I guess. The next game we're looking at from EA is Star Wars Battlefront 2. It was inevitable. Yes. We knew it was coming. Star Wars is getting milked like a cow these past few years. Yeah, it's just it is going to soon be a dead horse because the industry is beating the shit out of it. But basically, this one looks like it has some different dynamics. I think EA kind of got like their ass burned for the first one.
Right. Yes.
Because there was so little content. There was day one DLC. There was, there was hardly any game modes. It just didn't seem very engaging. And it had a lot of potential. It's a very pretty game, and I mean EA always makes pretty games, but it's always pretty without substance. They're very like 2 games with substance that look good, and then 8 games that look good with no substance. Well, at least that's the way I look at it. But Battlefront 2 seems to be the redemption story for Star Wars Battlefront, in that, they're adding the story mode, they're adding space battles, they're adding, aircraft battles during, like, a land war between, like, infantry units, they're adding cavalry, they're adding a lot more, actually. There's no day one DLC, and they even said that they're gonna give us free DLC, indefinitely for the game, which is cool. Like finally EA gives us a fucking game where we don't have to buy DLC or have microtransactions. Jesus. But yeah, like this. So, I mean, and it looks really good. It looks really polished. I think that we still have a lot more to see, but the game's right on the horizon. It's coming out soon. I hear. I'd have to look again at the release date, but looks like it's gonna be here soon. What do you have to say about that, Ben?
Now, you say this is a redemption story. I think this is the business model that kind of sums up these AAA titles, where the first game is a tech demo for the next. The first game had all these new... Right, yeah, you see where I'm going with this. First game had this... they took a movie set, stormtrooper armor, put it under a scanner. They made a 3D model of it, and that was cool. They used that same tech later in Battlefield 1, and we'll probably see something similar from the competition from Call of Duty World War II. We'll get to that later. So we call this a redemption story, but really they're meeting demand. In the first game, everybody demanded a single player experience, a campaign. They wanted more maps. They wanted prequel factions. They wanted clones versus droids. I sure wanted that. But I think, this will soon tie into a relatively complete game. I feel horrible having to be skeptical about games that come out now, because we could compare the first Battlefront that EA came out with the first Battlefront that came out, 10 something years ago. Excuse me, just burped there. And the game that came out 10, 20 years ago, that's a more complete game than what we can expect from such a huge developer today. And I don't know, it just seems very transparent as to how they're treating their consumers now. I might not buy it just because I don't want to buy into the whole shill of it. And I think, you could definitely agree on me with that. It's something that I'm tired of.
Well, see, and that's the thing is that earlier you mentioned that it seems like it's kind of a tech demo. From what I understand and what I've heard is that EA basically pressured the Battlefront developers, Dice. They basically said, "Hey, you guys have like I think it was like a development time of 8 months." And
Oh,
they didn't tell them until after like 3 months had already passed. So
oh,
yeah, so basically what ended up happening is they released a mostly unfinished game because EA cared about money in releasing. They wanted to release Battlefront at the same window of like one of the Star Wars movies or something like that. I'm not totally familiar
yep.
with the story, but it was basically something along those lines. So it was basically just didn't give a shit about quality, and
They
just
wanted a holiday release.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And I know that they were shipping Battlefront copies with brand new either PlayStations or Xboxes. I can't remember. And so basically, it was just a big money sham, like EA's usually up to. But
Mm.
and the thing is though is that they really were emphasizing that they're going to do quality, they're going to change everything that they fucked up, and I think that a lot of fans were very vocal about that, and I think EA actually listened this time. So I mean, I don't suspect that they will do this and continue to do it on the right path. I'm pretty sure if they can get away with it, they'll do that with their other IPs. But I think Star Wars is going to be like in line. But I think their other IPs will probably be a little more greedy than they should.
Yeah, don't get me excited. I've wanted more cinematic view of playing a clone trooper and going up against clankers. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I want it to be a good game. I really want it to be a good game. Just yesterday, or the other day, I guess, I was playing Battlefront 2 with mods, and it's still a fun game. I want this to be a fun game too,
Yeah,
but I don't
yeah.
want it to be a reskinned Battlefield.
Just for all my viewers who aren't caught up, Battlefront 1 and 2 happened a long time ago on the original Xbox, and they're now doing that again with another Battlefront and Battlefront 2, this being the second one, just to clarify.
I feel so old. I can't believe we have to clarify.
Yeah,
Oh, Battlefield 1 and
yeah,
2. Man,
yeah,
that was my childhood.
yeah. So then moving on to the next title, looks like they're releasing a new Need for Speed.
Hmm.
Called Payback. We don't know a whole lot about it. It looks honestly, it's like the Fast and the Furious meets Need for Speed meets Burnout meets Gran Turismo meets pretty much every other generic story-based racer. But I'm also speaking from the outside. I don't like a lot of story-based racing games. Never been interested in them, so I'm kind of biased. Ben, you have a better take on racing games than I do because you play a lot
Right.
more racing games. If you could just give a little bit of input.
Yeah. I played a lot of racing games so far, but the last Need for Speed game, well, besides the old Need for Speeds for the PlayStation 2, the last Need for Speed game I played was Most Wanted. They did all right with it. There was a lot of paywalls with it though, and I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Um, Need for Speed has always been the title that strives to be Vin Diesel going, if we're gonna fight for family, and it's gonna, it's definitely more a cinematic experience. Over in Forza, you got the tech of the cars that you're driving. There's the
Yeah.
car selection. In Gran Turismo, there's more of a tournament sort of feel to it, and
Mhm.
you really feel that you've worked hard to get that S class license. Where in Forza, you could get you can get that car right away if you have the cash for it. However, with Need for Speed, it's more of that. I really feel like the underground racer. I really feel like the guy who's trying to run away from the cops, or in this time, you really feel like you're working with other people to steal that car out of the back of the trailer.
Yeah.
And so they're just going for a different approach with
Yeah.
how racing games play out. I don't really have. I mean, it's a racing game. You can't really go outside the box with it unless you're doing like flying cars or something.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, the maps are going to be different. They'll probably have maps where it's going to weave in and out of corners, different or whatever. But that's really all you can change. It's licensed cars, so we're going to be playing with Lamborghinis and Ferraris that you see in any other racing game that's coming out this year. We'll get into those later. Um, I'm not excited for it. It
Uh,
looks cool, but it's appealing to an audience that's not for me.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, we're gonna move on, but just I guess as a whole, that's basically all I have to say about EA's press conference.
Mm.
EA, I don't know. I don't think they did great. I don't think they did terrible. If like I give it a like a 1 to 10 scale, I'd give them a 5 out of 10, I guess. For their conference, it wasn't like it was kind of middle of the road. Just it was not terrible. It wasn't great. It was more of EA. It was just more of the same. It felt really samey. I didn't expect EA is a very safe company. They're more about like trying to squeeze profits than they are about taking risks. And so they have a very formulaic way of presenting, a formulaic way of creating games. They don't take a lot of risks unless it means just they're picking up a small developer and the small developer takes the risk.
They
Um,
are a publisher before they are a developer,
yeah,
and we have
exactly.
to remember that.
Yeah. So that being said, yeah, it's a 5 out of 10. I don't know. What would you give their this year's EA out of 10?
Uh, it's an underwhelming out of 10. Can I? Can
Yeah,
I? Can
yeah.
I put
There's
that
a
on
whole
the
lot of
number?
meh. There's a meh.
Yeah.
But well, let's move on to the next one. This is a doozy to talk about. We'll probably spend more time complaining on this one than we will actually getting useful information out. Yeah, it's Bethesda. Ugh. Uh, uh, it hurt. It hurt so much to watch
I'm
Bethesda. I
I'm
was
excited.
I
I'm
was
excited for Wolfenstein 2 and The Evil Within 2. Both look very good,
yeah.
but it's more Fallout. It's more, VR. It's more
Yeah.
Skyrim. It's more
Yeah. Well, and
it's
this
more
is
stuff we don't want.
I feel like Bethesda is a good okay. So Bethesda, I believe, is a good developer. I
Same.
believe that they care about their fans a lot,
Yeah.
but with a big fucking asterisk. But um, I think this year was a mess. I feel like they had just got done pushing out a lot of titles, pushing a lot of stuff out there. I mean, they just released Prey. They just released a bunch of other stuff. They weren't really. They're kind of in the intermediary, and Bethesda's the type of developer to hold the cards close to their chest. They're not ones to be like, hey, we're working on a thing. We don't have anything done yet, but we're working on it, and then tell everybody about it. They're more of the guys who are like, hey, this thing is coming out within the next 6 months. So here's telling you about it. Like they don't. They're very small windows. They don't like to leave us hyping for a year or two. So that's
Yeah.
good and bad in some ways, but I don't know. It makes me scratching. It leaves me scratching my head. And before we get into the new IPs that they announced, I mean they talked a lot about stuff that they already had announced, already had available, and was coming out
Right.
really soon. But one of the things I really did notice, paid mods for
Yes.
Fallout and Skyrim. What the fuck is that shit?
They already tried this with Steam. I'm
Yeah.
seeing a complete deja vu.
Yeah.
This is a criticism. This is hardly a complaint. This is a harsh criticism I'm about to give them.
What
Go ahead.
the thing that gets me though is that it's not even okay, so Steam did it for everybody, for mod developers. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That would have been cool, but I mean a lot of the fans hated it. I liked it because I feel like a lot of modders out there deserve, some sort of compensation for their hard work. But
Yeah.
here's my issue is that with this Bethesda program that they're doing, they're releasing paid mods for Skyrim and Fallout that are made only by Bethesda developers and trusted modders that they have major modders who make high quality high end mods. Those are the only two categories in which are getting paid. They're not little Timmy who's lives in his mom's basement who's chugging away code for this big mod he's working on will never see $1 for it unless he opens up a Patreon or something. But that's ridiculous. I don't think that it should be just specific people that Bethesda gets to pick who gets money. That's bullshit. If it was an open thing where it's anybody gets money, I'd be all right, no big deal. But because
Yeah.
it's only people that work for Bethesda or people that Bethesda likes, I feel like there's something there, something just malevolent, greedy, and I don't like it.
Oh yeah, and it's going to create a new breed of modder, the modder who goes for the dollar. And that is not what modding's all about.
Yeah.
We mod because we love the game and we wish to add to it in a way that we can put our own name on it, but
Yeah.
we do it just for that.
Yeah, well, but
Modders do
that's true. But now that you mention that, I kind of start thinking, like the capitalistic approach of that is that now we're gonna have the modder Olympics to see which ones Bethesda gets to pick, gets to make money off their
Yeah.
mods, and yeah, that's like a little fucked up and a little manipulative and stuff like that. But will we get higher quality mods and better quality mods because of it? Because if honestly, if we get like if I see this thing come out and we start hearing news about it and like a lot of the mods that are coming out of it are like 10 times better quality than any mods we've seen before, yeah, you'll have my support. But until then, I think this is just a fucking Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. And now, put on your tinfoil hat, I just thought of something kind of scary.
Yeah.
We might see an industry of mods where there's companies rising up saying, hey, we have all these developers working on these kinds of mods because they appeal to this sort of bracket. It's going to be, we're going to see markets for mods.
Are you saying like mainline developers, like AAA mods?
Yes. So
I mean, it could be possible because where there is money to be made, there's people who are willing to do it. So
right.
yeah.
Right.
But we gotta move along because
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the other games they announced was The Evil Within 2. I never played the first one. It just seemed more action than horror, and I'm not much for that. Like if I wanted that, I'd play like Resident Evil 4 or something like that. It's already been done. But it's also story developed. I don't know. It just never appealed to me, I guess. Did you ever play The Evil Within at all? Like,
I usually watch other people. I watch Let's Players or streamers play horror games.
Yeah.
I just like having the fear, but also like, I like to see people get scared. So I watched Markiplier's playthrough of it, and it's of the first Evil Within, and it seemed like it didn't have a direction. There were zombies, there was the mind break aspect, there were creatures, but there was also supernatural. There was guns.
yeah.
I mean, it felt Dead Spacey, but it was still, it had the 16:9 aspect ratio, very theatric style
Yeah.
sort of approach to a third-person horror game. But it's not. It was very jump scary.
Yeah, and it looked very flat to me. I don't know. I didn't like from what I did see of the game. It just looked really like just boring. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't think I have a lot more to say about the game. We'll see we'll see what comes out. If I hear critical acclaim about it, I might check it out. But until then, I'm just gonna let it kind of be on the back burner and probably forget about it.
Right.
Wolfenstein 2. Wolfenstein.
Oh.
Yeah, so Nazis drink milkshakes, and
Yeah.
people are tripping acid while pregnant women in the back are stabbing dudes. What is going on?
It's goofy.
Yeah,
I love it.
It has character. I guess that's the thing is like this one seems to have a lot more charm, a lot more interest. I feel like Wolfenstein is going the way of like oh god, what is that director's name? The one who did oh god, like the Grindhouse films.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Shit, I can't ever remember that guy's name for whatever reason.
We'll just have to add it in later or something.
No, it's cool.
Oh yeah, we have the power of the internet.
Yes, we do. It's Quentin Tarantino, duh. Anyways, yeah, like I feel like the Wolfenstein games are going towards more the direction of Quentin Tarantino films.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of getting that gritty like charm to it with like some humor here and there.
Right.
And it's kind of being like no BS, no filter, kind of just in your face. And I don't think it's hurting it. I think this is actually this game is going to give it a little more of an image, a little more standout character, and I support it. I think this is the only like super redeeming thing that Bethesda announced this year. I mean, like they did do the Doom VFR, which I mean is just more Doom, but it seemed like it was like Doom on rails, which I'm not so sure.
It's quite literally a point and click rail.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see about that. But Wolfenstein 2 is about the only like major thing that came from Bethesda this year that I say was okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for it because we've gone from hello, I am a super soldier from the military to hey, I'm not a fucking Nazi. Like they didn't release too much to like know what this guy's all about.
Yeah.
But and I'm just a sucker for like buff leather jacket, like full red-blooded American, just kick-ass Nazi games, and you know, not even with a horror aspect, just the theatrical point your Mac 10 at them and they go 9, and then their head explodes.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just like everything you see in Inglourious Bastards. Like just like you feel like you don't get a lot. And I think Americans today, and we'll try to not do too much into the politics of it, but I think a lot of Americans today don't get to be like fuck yeah America, fuck yeah, like fuck.
Now if we're I'm sorry to cut you off, but
go ahead.
If while we're seeing good characters and we're like, oh yeah, that's super cool, I do expect that from the Nazi side.
Yeah.
I do want to see like some like crowded up badass of a trench coat wearing eye patched up scars over that.
Wouldn't it be cool if they released like a DLC later down the line that like you played like a Nazi storyline and you like explored this like Nazi character and you're like a dark character who just fucked up shit? Like I think that would be a really cool dynamic. Like I don't know, it could be a good deal.
And we could go back to the Inglourious Bastards comparison where they had a cool, kind of funny Nazi character where you just couldn't help but love the guy, but you also kind of wanted a good ending for him, but you knew that this is a Nazi. Like, but it kind of makes me excited. I hope they run with that idea if they've had it.
We'll see where it goes. It's just a matter of time to kind of like eyeball it. Once we see like I guess once we see more of that, we'll find out. I think that's a later this year title. Wolfenstein is coming out. Release date. Blah 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 blah. No release date. Okay.
Oh, good.
It's October 27th. Yeah, so it's right around the corner. Same day as the new Mario.
Oh well, now I know what I'm doing on that day.
Yeah. So Bethesda garbage. They had Wolfenstein, which was good. That's pretty much all we talked about. I mean, we shit on them. They're milking Skyrim. Every single fucking game conference at E3 this year had something about Skyrim in it. And Skyrim came out in 2011, ladies and gentlemen. 2011, and we're still talking about it at fucking E3. Like, oh my god, it hurts. It pains my soul.
I'm looking at our notes right now. The only real conference that didn't have Skyrim in it was Microsoft.
I think Microsoft had it too. I'd have to look again,
really?
But yeah, I think it was like something to do with like
did Microsoft have Elder Scrolls Morrowind?
Back in the day, like OG Xbox.
This conference.
You're talking about the expansion.
Yes.
For ESO. No. They didn't talk about that. They talked about that at Bethesda, but I'm not worried about that because it's something we already knew about. It was like 6 months ago we found out about that thing. But no, the big thing from Bethesda from Microsoft that they talked about it was like, oh yeah, so you can mod more mods on Skyrim, guys.
Good.
Yeah, so Skyrim came up in conversation. Anyways, Bethesda, I'm gonna say like 2, 3, 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 out of 10.
I usually go with this out of 7 scale. I'd give them a solid 2 out of 7 as well.
I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 10.
We're gonna give 2.
Yeah, well, and see, the only reason they have a 2.5 is the Evil Within 2. Within 2, Wolfenstein 2. And so, I'll give 2 for Wolfenstein and 0.5 for the Evil Within 2. Other than that, everything else is bullshit. Everything else is bougie bullshit. All right, let's go to let's bring up the fat daddy of E3 this year because holy shit, was there a lot of fucking titles and things that they talked about. Like Microsoft came out swinging this year.
Yeah.
They announced their new system. I don't know if they're considering this. I don't know if they're considering this a whole new system on its own. Xbox
It's
One X.
it's I feel the same way about the X. Like I felt the same way about the versions of the 360. You had the 360, you had the 360 Elite. I'm sure there was another one, or like a slim version. I'm seeing this again.
Well, that's the thing is I'm not so sure about that because there's going to be things on the Xbox One X that the Xbox One cannot play.
That's true.
Yeah, so my issue is like, what do I consider this? I mean, it does have the words Xbox One on it, but at the same time, if it can do more things than the original Xbox One can do, then I don't know if this is a new generation or not, or if this is just like a Gen point five issue. But
I call it Gen this like point one or point two.
well, that was the Xbox One S though.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is like this might be like that middle tier between the next system or not. But at the same time, I did hear somewhere, whether it was Microsoft, straight from Microsoft's mouth, or some journalist or something, that this is Xbox's last console. Like they're going to the realm
Yes.
of they're going to the PC realm for everything. Windows is going to be the back daddy of
Yes.
consoles for them. That they're going and leaving the console thing behind. Which
I know
if,
exactly. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
if Sony follows in tow, we could see the death of consoles in the next generation
Yep.
or two.
Yeah. That I know exactly who you're talking about. That was Lyle McDouchebag and his E3 skepticism over from the last E3 we saw in 2016. The idea that they're building a cross-platform library between Xbox One and Windows 10's exclusives.
Yeah.
That puts them leap years ahead of Sony,
Well,
where we have.
and that's what I'm thinking. I think because this is Xbox One X, is the like it's not necessarily ascending from Xbox because they already had their slim version of Xbox One. So why
Right.
are they doing this again? Like they're giving us an Xbox One X. So what I'm thinking is this is the transitional phase that they're taking from console to PC market. And I see why. PC just has the future already in its hands. They just need the games to go with it. And if Xbox takes that to PC, they get to be the first ones to bring fucking like AAA titles to PC that aren't just ports, you know? So they're going to get that big chunk of the PC market before Sony gets to touch it or before Nintendo gets to touch it, which Nintendo won't ever touch it. They'll probably stay a console forever. But that's because they're their own thing. Whatever. Anyways, that being said, let's move forward. Sea of Thieves. Cool.
I
kind
like
of.
it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know. It's not Rareware. That's the thing is I miss Rareware.
Yeah.
They're a whole different animal nowadays, but it's cool. You know, it's cool. The exploration's cool. You know, pirates are cool. I love pirates. I always like pirates. You know, ship battles and fucking thunderstorms and exploring underwater for like, you know, underwater ships that sunk or whatever and caverns and skeletons and digging up treasure from the beach, whatever. You know, like it's cool. Like I like it.
That got me excited. That got me excited too. Same
Shooting
with,
yourself
like,
out of a cannon is fucking cool. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. We're definitely. This isn't the Rareware we know, but we're definitely going to see their charm in this.
Well, and see, that's what got me is that I had a prediction on my prediction video that I could have swore they were going to say something about Banjo-Kazooie because ukulele was a thing, you know, and I felt like they were like, okay, ukulele's coming, maybe there's a market for it. If ukulele does well, we'll follow up and call out Banjo-Kazooie. Sure enough, ukulele came out. It was somewhat of a success. It wasn't like critically acclaimed or anything. There was a lot of people who had a lot of bad things to say about it, and there were a lot of people who had a lot of good things to say about it. So it had some mixed review feels to it, but it did well. It sold well. So I could have swore they were like, hey, Banjo 3, why not? You know, maybe that'll come along later. Who knows? But for right now, Sea of Thieves seems to be their primary focus. It's not terrible, but hopefully after they wrap that up or whatever, they start moving towards shit that says, "Hey, we're Rareware." Anyways, Forza 7. You're the Forza guy. You know Forza.
Yes.
I don't. Go ahead. Have at it.
This is the tech demo for Forza Horizons 4. No, but Forza. When they push to make new Forza games, of course, they add a new car library. They add new tracks. It's the same. It's the same presentation for Forza that we got when Forza 6 came out. Of course, they announced the P1, the McLaren P1. You know, some car that nobody ever heard about, and now they released the new 911.
Oh, 911.
911.
George Bush.
No, don't stop me.
Meme. All right. Anyways, go on.
But yeah. I'm saying I saw deja vu with Forza 7 because with the Forza series and the Forza Horizon series, the Forza series is the tech head, the tuner head, the racer head sort of game where it's you click a button and you're in a race. Whereas in Forza Horizons, it's for the guy who wants to feel like, oh man, I can take my Corvette, put some cool little mods on it, make a cool paint job, and then take a few photos with it or whatever, and then show up to a car meet with friends. It's more of an open experience. It's more of I believe, from my own experience, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the Forza series, not the Forza Horizon series, it's very career based. You feel like a race car driver.
Well,
you don't feel like some guy coming up to a Horizon festival or something.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I have not played a Forza game since the OG Forza that debuted with the 360.
I never played it. How was that?
It's pretty good. I actually liked it. I like the customization and like how you earn money and buy like car parts, and it's a lot of the same probably. But what got me is that while watching gameplay of Forza 7, I felt like the cars would say that they were going this speed, but it looked like visually it looked like they were going so slow. Like I saw them driving, and I know there's probably some realism to that, maybe, I'm not sure, but it looked like the car was not moving. Or it was just moving very slowly. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like they need to add some sort of effects or something to make like the world seem like it's actually moving around you. Because I mean, what's the point of a racing game if you don't look like you're going fast? Like
that has a lot to do with the tracks that they raced on. One was some sort of cliffside urban sprawl. I didn't get the name of that one, but the other one was the Nürburgring, which there's something like 300 corners that you have to turn at. And it's really based on car position. Yeah, no, it's based on car position behind, like, you're drafting through these straightaways. You're not really overtaking too much. Yeah. Besides, that's something I'm seeing, and to not to stray too far away from motorsport, I mean, not to stray away from the video games, but we're going into motorsport where F1 in F1 races, there's something like one racer will overtake somebody, or he'll be overtaken 7 times.
Yeah.
During a whole race.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going for realism more than anything.
I hate to cut you off. We gotta get moving.
I'm sorry, dude.
No, you're good. Crackdown 3.
That shit made me wet.
Terry Crews!
Explosions! I'm so... if he's going to be a character, being a commander for the agency, and he's going to be possibly, this is just a rumor, a character in Overwatch, we're gonna have a cruising for bruising sort of year with our shooters.
Like in the last 4 or 5 years, Terry Crews has been very involved with the gaming community. He and his son likes PC gaming, and he's getting into PC gaming because of his son, and it's cool. It's so cool. I love Terry Crews. He's got such a great personality, especially for gaming. He brings a lot, and a lot of people love him. Like, why not? Like, please, Terry Crews, do more video game things. I fully welcome you into our community with open arms. Like, Terry Crews, make love to me.
Yeah, he was my first man crush since the Old Spice commercials.
Buddy Oka Black and Wash.
Yeah. Anyway, Crackdown 3.
Yeah. So it was a little disappointing. I mean, I didn't see any their main thing was destructible environments, and they didn't even show any of that. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
I'm seeing the same animations, the
Yeah.
same
They
sort
just
of level up stuff from
yeah.
Crackdown 2.
I think
And
it's looking really samey, and I think something smells like shit. Like what I'm
it's
saying
some,
is
yeah.
Crackdown just looks like it's gonna be a little bit of a clone. If you like Crackdown, you get more Crackdown. You can't lose. Otherwise, it's for anybody who's new to the franchise. I don't think they're gonna like it. We're gonna move forward. We have to.
Yes.
There's fuck tons of Microsoft shit to talk about.
We're still on the first line. We have 3
Yeah.
lines of the Microsoft conference.
So Lord of the Rings, what is it? Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, Shadow of War. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Very excited.
basically, Shadow of War, I like it. The characters look more alive. They look more interesting. Oh man, that orc at the beginning, the big fucking guy who fucking he stuck a finger in his mouth and went like oh god, this guy's fucking cool. I love him already.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big oaf and I love him. But that's the thing is like if they build like a characters that we love and shit like that in the universe, I feel more drawn to it because like I played the first one whole way through. It did the whole bang caboodle thing, and the issue is that the first one was a little dead. It felt like I was playing Assassin's Creed already. The mechanics of the game were meh. I did like their what's that called? The system with the orcs.
Nemesis system?
Yeah. So the Nemesis system, I loved that. That was really, and I think everybody can agree on that. Everybody likes the Nemesis system. It's cool.
I
Fucking
do.
cool. What I do like about this new one is the fucking raiding. You get to recruit like an orc army and just invade fucking castles and
Yeah.
bases and shit. And so much more dynamic. Like they're building on the system they know everybody loves, and that's smart. That is so fucking smart. I love, like, high five to whichever studio out there made the fucking games. I don't remember off the top of my head, but hey, dude, like they're doing smart shit. They're making they're building on shit we already like, and they're doing it well. So go them, and I'm gonna buy this game.
Yeah. I am going to buy the game just for that orc in the beginning, and I'm uninstalling as soon as he dies.
All right, Call of Duty World War II. It's more Call of Duty. It looks like they're going back to the roots. I'm not a big Call of Duty guy.
I played for the PlayStation 2 Call of Duty Big Red 1, and we're seeing again the Big Red 1 whole Normandy invasion that they had back then. It's just going to have a modern take on an old classic. I like that.
Yeah, and see, like, don't get me wrong, like, World War II is really cool. Just never been a Call of Duty guy, so it's whatever. Xbox avatars. We're getting an update on that.
Yes.
You can be in a wheelchair if you have
saw that too.
osteoporosis.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that they're being all inclusive.
Yeah.
I like that. Can't really. I mean, it's.
No, and it was
It's new
requested.
avatars.
It was widely requested. Like, I mean, and I get it. If I like, hey, all you people, if any of you guys are rocking the wheelchair, you're cool with me. We'll go party sometime. Hit me up. No, actually, so seriously though, speaking, I will say, it's cool. It's important. It makes people feel like, you know, they're more identifying. Because if you look in a lot of video games, if you can create a character, if you're a person who's bound to a wheelchair and you can't make a character that reflects that, you don't identify with that. You don't immerse in that. And that sucks. So being able to do that in the new Xbox like avatar creation thing system that they're doing, it's pretty cool. They look sharper, they look cleaner, they look nicer. I enjoy them. They have more personality, they have more interest than the old system. So fuck it. Yeah, go Xbox. OG
In the end, though.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I was gonna move on.
Oh well. Before we do that,
throw on, man.
I do appreciate the direction they went with avatars. However, in the end, it is avatars. It's going to be something that's going to be like right behind the game app on your Xbox.
Yeah.
And it's something that I personally am not going to pay too much attention to.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter that much. It's just for the people who are, you know, I guess they need that.
I wonder if when the Kinect comes out for the One X, if I can make my avatar deaf, and when I try to talk to him, he just doesn't hear me. I have to go to the screen and like wave.
We'll see. OG backward compatibility. So
yes.
Yeah. So basically, the original Xbox games are going to be playable on Xbox One, and Xbox One S and Xbox One X. Xbox One period is going to be able to play the original Xbox and Xbox 360. They've already got a library of over 300 some odd games for 360. So they're going to do this for the original Xbox. So we're going to be seeing Halo. We're going to be Halo 2. We're going to see Jet Set Radio Future maybe. Fable's going to have a comeback. Let's see here. What else is great for the original Xbox? Munch's Odyssey. Go on and so forth. Brute Force would be cool to see again.
I'd like to see Star Wars. What's it called? Republic Commando. Of course, that was like the gritty game everybody still wants today from Star Wars.
The Battlefront, the original Battlefront and Battlefront 2.
Yes.
Morrowind, etc. So yeah, we're gonna see that. That's a thing. I like it. A lot of people say, oh well, a lot of people ask for backwards compatibility, but not a lot of people do it. Which is basically Sony's excuse. Fuck them. Going on. So yeah, they hit on Anthem again. They showed us more jetpacks and sploosh. We already talked about that. Fuck that. Metro, the new Metro game.
Like it. It's Fallout done right.
Yeah.
What they teased is a very it didn't look too claustrophobic, but it seemed like resources were very limited. He's scouring for just 4 shells for his gun. His improvised shotgun. There's going to be this open air sort of experience where he's ziplining across and then onto a train. Yeah. That means there's going to be I liked old Metro games because of how the story played out and how it made me feel with the environments. It looked very colorful too, and I don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
From games nowadays. Yeah. Especially post-apocalyptic ones where it's just darks and earth tones.
Yeah, which is I think is a good thing. It seems like a lot of post-apocalyptic games, apocalyptic. Yeah, that one. Those kind of games, they do have a lot of just dead, barren, wasteland, colors. And it would be nice to have a post-apocalyptic game where you have trees and meadows and shit, just to kind of shake it up, or put us in a tundra. Fuck, we haven't done that. But yeah, so it would be cool to have some change of scenery. It might bring me back into it because I get tired. I don't know. Fallout 4 killed me a little bit on post-apocalyptic games. So we'll see where that goes.
Might do something new.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We'll see. So just gotta wait for it. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. It looks like it's gonna be more of the same. I don't know if they're gonna do a lot more, but we haven't seen anything but a CG trailer. So we just gotta wait, but it looks sad, and I'm probably gonna cry again. So there's that. Minecraft 4K. Whee!
Yes.
Yay! Pixels in 4K. Oh boy.
Cross-platform compatibility.
Yeah, that I approve of. Everybody's doing it except for Sony because Sony's not a team player, but it's not in their best interest. It's something that they need for later because Sony's kind of on the forefront right now. And giving their competition the advantage of it, it'd be advantageous for a Nintendo owner or an Xbox owner to have crossplay, but
well, Microsoft owns Minecraft.
Yes.
So they're just I don't want to say they're cashing in on this opportunity, but
Sony's not doing it, and I can see why. I just still think it sucks. It's dumb. They're dumb, but I can see why. They want to preserve their business, and if they're the front runners right now, if they're doing the best out of all the consoles, why would they do crossplay? It would just all it would do is hurt them because they're not gaining anything out of it. They're just losing. So they're probably saving it for a time when they start a new console. If they start a new console, they go set themselves back to zero because that's what that means when you make a new console. You go start over again on the race, and then they're gonna be like, well, if you buy our new console. Crossplay, yay, confetti, so whatever.
In the meantime, cue the compilations of PS4 kids at Minecon going, hey, when's the crossplay coming to us?
Oh yeah, and they'll be like, that's Sony's fault. I don't know, but Dragon Ball Fighter Z, I'm fucking stoked. I like fighting games. I don't play a lot of them anymore. I used to play a fuck ton of them. But ever since I made the switch to PC, kind of put fighter games on the back burner. I mean, I played Mortal Kombat every once in a while on the PC or something. But yeah, this looks really good. I don't like the 3D environment Dragon Ball games. I never did. I'm more of a Street Fighter or Tekken or Mortal Kombat kind of guy, where it's kind of like 2D but in a 3D space. And that's what this one's doing. And it looks a lot like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in that, like, it's a 2D fighting space and you get to call in allies and swap out characters and stuff, like it's a 3v3 scenario or something like that, which is really cool. I like it. Why not go back to formula? Because, like, dude, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was, like, and this is a bold claim, and a lot of people are going to contest me if they hear this shit and disagree, but Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the best fighting game ever known to man. Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, it had it had a lot of clone characters, but it had like 100 some odd characters and fucking like maps galore and a good fighting system. Like, it was hardcore, like, good. So if Dragon Ball FighterZ brings some of that back to the mainstream fighting genre, then fuck yeah, I'm all for it. Cuphead.
Yeah. Ooh, yes.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm going to play this with a lot of friends, and I'm going to play it for a long time. It looks like it's really in-depth. It looks like it's really long. I'm glad they took their time on it. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I want it now. Well, give me the quality, man. I'd rather have the quality than have it now. Yeah. But, yeah.
Putting that much work into something to look that old takes, well, you need that much time to work on something like that.
Yeah.
Where you're studying art. You're studying art from the 40s, and or whatever, whenever those.
Yeah, it's like between cartoons. The 20s and 60s like era. Yeah. But it's it's beautiful. It's like Steamboat Willie type, fucking just gorgeous. And I love the inspiration, the passion that I see in this game. Like, just from looking at the game itself, says miles about like the developers. Like for them to like be able to say, I'm passionate about old style like cartoons, make a game, and for me to be able to see that passion without them saying a goddamn word is fucking amazing. It's thrilling. I'm excited to play Cuphead.
I'll play it. I'll play that game.
Yeah. Super Lucky's Tale. It's a platformer. It's not marketed to people who played platformers during the millennial era of the 90s and early 2000s. It looks like it's marketed to like people who are like 6 years old right now. So that being said, if you have children or you have like a niece or nephew or a little brother or sister that's around that age, get them this fucking game. It looks cute. I'm not gonna play it though. Yeah. And then last thing on Microsoft, and then we'll move on to Sony. PUBG is coming to Xbox, and it's going to be exclusively on Xbox, not counting PC. Like, it's not coming to PlayStation, it's not coming to Nintendo, it's not coming to any other console. Xbox only. That's fine with me. It makes Xbox a stronger entity, and they need games. One thing I've noticed.
Again, Microsoft with the cross-platform library.
Yeah.
I'm liking it. This is definitely a huge almost bureaucratic redundancy.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing is well, and you know how it is on the internet. Everybody's like, oh, but my console is better than your console. The console my mom bought is better than the console your mom bought. Anyways, so no, the thing is about the Microsoft's convention this year really is that they fixed a lot of their issues. I only named about half of the IPs that they announced this year of new games. They announced so many new games this year. They announced probably about the same amount as Bethesda, EA, Nintendo, and Ubisoft combined. Yeah. So they're doing good. They got a little bit of something for everybody. They got hardcore gamer stuff. They got indie stuff. They've got this, that, and the other. And they have a lot of new Xbox specific games that aren't going to be on PlayStation, which is what they needed the most. They needed exclusives so bad. And now that they're doing that, they're kind of probably going to get some more traction and start coming back in that console race. Xbox One X, people are going to be like, oh yeah, well, I want the 6 teraflops because I have teraflops, and they're gonna want to have the high end graphics or 4K. Not a lot of people have 4K TVs, so I don't really think that they're gonna be looking for that as much as they're gonna be looking for playing more powerful games on 1080. And so yeah, that'll be a thing. We'll see. Yeah. Anyways, Xbox did really good this year, or Microsoft did really good this year. I'll give them a 8 out of 10.
6 out of 7 from me. They were pretty high up there.
Yeah.
They're not mind blowing, but I had to go by comparison to the other conferences.
Yeah. So moving on to Sony. Sony was also pretty okay. So like Bethesda, they were also pretty bad, I think. They announced 2 things that I actually care about. They announced some things that 3 things I care about, but fuck. One of those has already been announced. So Shadow of the Colossus is exciting for me. I'm really excited.
I like it.
Yeah, it's back to formula with HD remakes and stuff like that. I mean, that's what it seems like PlayStation's all about lately. I mean, they're doing Crash Bandicoot and all this and the other HD remakes all over the place. Shadow of the Colossus, welcome change for me, I guess. If they add more to it, if they add more content, that'd be cool. I don't expect them to, but if they do, it'd be sweet.
They're building it ground up. They could.
Yeah. Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
It looks good. It looks good.
I played the first Spider-Man for PlayStation 2, and I made it to the part where the guy in the forklift charges you, going, "So long, freak!" And I got very scared, and I turned the game off, and I never got past that level.
Hold
my first jump scare
on.
ever.
Hold on. For PlayStation 2, get out of town. Well, there's
the
one
first
for
PlayStation 2 title
okay.
of Spider-Man.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, it looks really good. I like that it feels, and like everybody's been saying this, I'm going to make the same comparison because I'm right. It looks like if Spider-Man was on the Arkham Batman games, like, engine. And I can't complain because they're making it their own. Yeah, the combat's very stealthy and, like, you're fighting, like, 10 guys to 1, which is, like, a lot of what Arkham was. But, like, the web interaction was cool. It was really on the fly. Like, hey, you look up at this rafter real quick in the middle of a fight, you press web, and then you look at the guy, and then you web the guy to the rafter, and he gets zipped to the wall and wrapped against the wall. It's fucking cool. Like, or like, like you grab this crane with your web and yank it, and it swings over and knocks like 2 guys off the edge. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that concerns me is the QuickTime events, but it looked redeeming. It looked engaging. I'm excited to see more. We'll see what they have on the horizon.
Cinematic and gameplay blend.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for that.
There's more Uncharted coming in that game that they're doing. I don't know if it's a DLC or a game, whatever. I don't like Uncharted. That's because I don't like the movie, the game. By that, I mean I just don't like playing a movie. If you're into that, if you like just story, go for Uncharted. Detroit 2 Human looks like it could be okay. I don't like the mind behind it because he's made a lot of other things that I never really cared about before. So, if he makes something good on him. It looks really story-oriented as well. I'm not into the movie, the game, but if people are, go for it. Destiny 2 is coming for Sony. Again, not a huge thing for me. It is coming to PC now, which is cool. But there's gonna be a lot of Sony-specific stuff for PlayStation if you get it on that.
I heard they completely just made it so that way the first Destiny didn't happen, like in accordance to lore and story.
I have no idea. I don't follow Destiny, but I do know gameplay wise, it's a lot like the first Destiny. So if you like the first Destiny, there's more of it. If you've never played the first Destiny, play the second one without playing the first Destiny, and you'll get the same feels. They might add some new things content-wise. They might change some things, but it looks like a lot of back to formula from what I've heard from my Destiny people out there.
They might add a story.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, that's it for Destiny. Horizon Zero Dawn's getting a DLC. It's robot dinosaurs in Snow Mountain, and there's a volcano, and there seems to be a really, really big robot dinosaur in the volcano or something. I'm not sure. If you're into Horizon Zero Dawn, go hunt more robot dinosaurs, because that's what you're going to get. Uh,
Jurassic World, Breath of the Wild.
Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Yes.
Uh, Marvel versus Capcom Infinite.
Uh,
I have a problem.
yeah.
As I said before, I'm a big fighting game guy, and as I said before, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was the best fighter ever. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was good, and was back to formula a little bit. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is looking bad. It's they don't have a lot of characters. They have less character. Okay, so they shaved down all of the clone characters from 2 to 3, which was fine. Uh, but then from 3 to this one, it seems like there's currently a roster of like maybe 15. They went from like 100 to 15 in 2 games. I don't know if I like that, but that and it looks like so they changed the graphical style from 3 to Ultimate or Infinite rather. And Marvel vs.
Hmm.
Capcom Infinite, my issue is look at the Chun-Li model from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and look at the one from Infinite, and you're going to see this ugly good like
Uh,
the graphics went total shit in Infinite. So maybe that's temporary. Maybe they'll clean it up a bit. Maybe it'll be a day one patch. Who the fuck knows? I'm skeptical. I'm still gonna buy it.
huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's actually kind of surprising.
Yeah, God of War is coming, and they showed it to us last year. We knew it was coming. It's gonna be Nordic afterlife, Nordic gods. They showed a lot more. There's a big serpent guy. It's Dad of War. Yeah. So if you like God of War, it's gonna be different than the before ones. If you like, I don't know. It's like all the
Maybe-
new story-based action games. It's like Uncharted minus all the cutscenes, probably.
Yeah. It kind of looks like gameplay wise, looks a bit like that For Honor game that EA came out,
Yeah, maybe.
I'd go as far as say The Last of Us. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like a top
It's
down.
like yeah, it's like Dad of War is The Last of Us, basically. But with more combat mechanics. I think it looks cool. Thematically, it looks cool. Story wise, it looks cool. Fighting looks pretty good. I will check it out. I don't know if it's going to be a hardcore buy for me. I'm going to wait a week until after release to get some more info about it and see what reviews are saying. And then I'm going to fucking decide if I want to buy it or not.
Oh,
Monster Hunter. The new Monster
I-
Hunter looks
I've
good.
I've never played a.
I played 3 Ultimate for the DS. I don't have an extremely large like background in Monster Hunter. It's cool. I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not like a hardcore fan, but if you're into Monster Hunter, check it out. My boy Pro Jared's super into it, and he's like the biggest Monster Hunter fan on the internets. And he's got a lot of info on it. He does say it's back to formula, and a lot of people are worried that this new Monster Hunter is going to be a lot more westernized. PJ says otherwise. Pro Jared says it's gonna be a lot of the same. So if you're into that Eastern thing where it's like very Japanesey, easy peasy Japanesey, yeah, you play the new Monster Hunter and you'll like it. And like yeah, the only thing
I'll be picking it up.
yeah, the only other thing that came from Sony is Skyrim VR. So yeah, go Bethesda, milking the fuck out of Skyrim. That dead horse is dead. Stop deading it. Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. I gotta give Sony a grade. Shit.
Oh,
Sony
no,
gets
wait.
like a fucking 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 out of 10.
I'd give them a 5 out of 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they were just trying to get this year over with. I think they didn't really have a whole lot. I think they pushed out a lot of product recently, and so they're just kind of like in a bit of a development lull.
I think the Shadow of the Colossus, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter, and those are all things I'm excited about. We know Destiny 2 and God of War are going to sell well
Yeah,
too.
and Uncharted and Horizon Zero Dawn will sell well. We'll see.
Yeah.
And Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite's going to like every system, so it's not like it matters.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got to move on. Nintendo. Nintendo. Nintendo did really good this year, actually, compared to like pretty much every year. Like they're almost like considered a non-participant in E3 for the most part, because of how little they have usually. This year was very different, and I understand why. They just released the Nintendo Switch, and they need to market the fuck out of it because they're gonna have their second wave here soon, dude. That's my only issue with Nintendo right now. It's June. The Switch has been out for 3 months and 4 months. I don't remember, 3 or 4 months, and still the only people who have it are the people who bought the first wave of Nintendo Switches for the most part. So fuck
You and I.
yeah, basically we got a day. We got it day like 3. We got
True.
lucky. Yeah, but yeah. So new Pokemon Core title is announced. Muy excited.
Yeah.
We don't have any details. They said it's not going to be until it's like 2018 till we actually get it. So we're probably not going to hear anything about it for the next like 4 months.
Yeah, I had nothing to say about it.
Yeah,
So,
Metroid Prime 4. Everybody's
Oh.
fucking rock hard right now for Metroid Prime 4, and I don't blame them. We'll see how it comes out. I mean, like I'm more of a 2D Metroid guy, but I'll still play Metroid Prime 4, especially with the Switch controllers, because I think the motion controllers, like, I mean, it's been done before, but with the Switch controllers a little different. I feel like the Switch controllers have a little more like the point and aim like mechanics that like make it a lot more high def and better. But yeah, fucking back to the point. Metroid Prime 4 is coming out. So is Metroid Samus Returns for the DS, which is what I really will be playing. I'll be playing both Metroids, but the Samus Returns is basically Metroid 2 for the 3DS, basically. So yeah, it looks really good. I saw some gameplay. I'm happy with it. Rocket League for the Switch, about time. They're gonna have crossplay. With everybody except for Sony, because Sony's vindictive and being a little bitch. Kirby's back and back to form. This is the first Kirby game I've seen in a while that looks like a Kirby game, like an original Kirby game. I'm excited.
I'm excited at this in the sense of it's a good. Kirby's always been a good date game for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with it coming to Switch, I already have Snipper Clips, good date game.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody loves to see, Link cross dress.
Yeah.
So a Kirby game, if your girl or even guy isn't into gaming, this will be a fun one to play with.
Yeah.
Since they're coming with.
Yeah.
And play with your friends too. This will be
Yeah,
a
yeah,
4-player,
yeah.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, up to 4-player co-op, which is pretty cool. There's gonna be a lot of like synergy with like the abilities. So if you have like one person who's playing a certain character and another person who's playing another character, you can like all unite your abilities and make some cool fucking move. It's back to form like to like Kirby All Stars, I'd say, like Super Nintendo Kirby's, and I like it. It looks great. It looks fun, and as long as it's not too easy, I will enjoy playing it, and I'm going to get it. Yoshi, the new Yoshi game. It's Yoshi's Story combined with Yoshi. What is the Woolly Worlds? Yeah, that one. It looks like new and old Yoshis put together, like Super Nintendo. If Super Nintendo Yoshi's, like the Mario Yoshi, Baby Mario game, whatever. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. And if Yoshi Story from 64 and if Yoshi Woolly World all mashed together into the same game, that's what this is. I'm cool with it. Looks a little kiddie. It's cool. I like kiddie games, so I'll probably play it. Yeah, and that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zelda DC. I'm excited for the.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, the first one looks pretty good in that like you start from nothing in this dungeon. The Trial of the whatever bullshit. It's the same
Trial
thing.
of the Sword.
Yeah, Trial of the Sword. It's like the same thing as every other game. They have it in every other Zelda game since like the 64, I believe. And basically, except for in this one's cooler because you don't have all the gear, going in. You start with nothing, and you have to work your way up and through like these like environments, like these like there's a whole room full of like trees and buildings and caves and shit. And they each have their own unique biome, and it's like you move your way through like these catacomb caves full of like biomes. Like, it's cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and you like fight with a stick, and then eventually you kill like one bokoblin and you get his club, and then you beat the shit out of another bokoblin and you get his club, and you just fucking eventually you're swinging swords and doing the thing you're doing after you already beat Breath of the Wild. I like that. I think that's cool. I can't wait to see more. Yeah, and yeah, there's another DLC coming. We don't know much about it. It's supposed to be the story DLC. It's about the 4 warriors from the game's story. If you're into that, go for it. Mario and Rabbids.
Uh,
I view Rabbids the same way I view Minions from Despicable
Mhm.
Me. I am cancer. No,
Yeah.
no me gusta.
I see why they're doing this because with the gameplay is a lot like XCOM. However, XCOM is really a sort not a I won't say it's sort of a niche audience, but it's
Yeah.
definitely
It's
for
it's pretty monopolized. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
XCOM doesn't have a lot of competitors, so this
right.
I don't know. I do realize, and this is funny to say this, but Mario and Rabbids got announced, and then the next day, XCOM 2 for Steam went on sale. So,
Yeah.
yeah, about that.
This will introduce uh this will introduce a younger audience to the turn-based
Yeah.
third person
Yeah,
sort of.
it's definitely going to be casualized. I will play it, but that's because I'm bad at XCOM. I have played XCOM, and I've never beaten XCOM because I think it's too hard. Now I can play it on the easy baby mode, but I refuse. I always play it on normal. I always fail. And maybe I'm just playing the game wrong. But yeah, I'm filthy casual trash. But I'm not filthy casual trash in every game. So maybe I'll come back and play XCOM through all the way so I can earn my right to play Mario and Rabbids Kingdom or whatever the fuck it's called.
I'm sure nobody will judge you if you play the Mario version of that sort of game first.
Mario Odyssey. Yeah, Mario's back in a big way. We finally found out what the big niche mechanic is for this Mario game. So like in every Mario like 3D game, there's always some weird niche mechanic. 64 was the vanilla, right? Because it was the first real true 3D Mario. But after that, I mean, we had Sunshine and we had the water pump thing, Flood. And then we had the Mario in Space, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And they were, like orbital and you fly through space and all that good stuff. It was very, very niche mechanics in that sense, the way you platform as opposed to etc. and so on. This one, you throw hats at things and become them. So you throw your hat at a fucking Goomba and you turn it, you like take over the Goomba's body. Mario like gets sucked into his brain and fucking becomes the Goomba or the Koopa or even a T-Rex. I don't know. I think this Mario is going to be a little weird, but if I know any better, Nintendo knows how to make a core title Mario game really charming. So they'll probably get me in the end. But I'm going to give it a try. And Nintendo can take my money on this one as well.
It kind of reminded me a bit of, this. I'm gonna get crucified. It kind of reminded me of Assassin's Creed. In the sense that you disguise yourself as a Goomba. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't go that far. I'll retract my statement.
That's all right. Yeah, I can't. I don't see it. Maybe somebody else does, but me, I don't agree. We'll see. I mean, I can understand what you're saying, but it's not like you're hiding from your enemies as much as the way you're interacting with your enemies. So, like, for the Goomba thing, you get to, like, stat Goombas and they, like, assist you and shit, which is pretty cool. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything to compare to that, off the top of my head, at least.
I saw a lot of new mechanics, too, like getting on top of those bullet bills.
Oh, yeah. No, you mean, like, when you take over the bullet bill and start flying through the air and shit?
Yeah, I think they're gonna play with that idea.
Yeah, it could be cool. Well, and I'm fine with that because, like, each enemy has its own, or even non-enemies, like, just NPCs in general, when you take them over, like, you just, there's so many dynamics in different ways that each character works. So if you take them over, like you have all these different ways you can play the game, which is genius. It's so genius in a platformer. Like that's so smart because a lot of people complain that platformers are all the same. It's all, jump, yump, yah, wahoo, fucking get the coin. Whereas like with this one, it's like you take over this dinosaur and the game is instantly a different game almost. So
Yep.
we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. Nintendo gets a, what did I give Microsoft? A 8 out of 10.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna give Nintendo an 8.5, and that's only because of I'm a fucking sucker for like hype, and Metroid Prime and core Pokemon RPG really got me. Like took it home for me. And I like the new Kirby, and I want the Switch to succeed. I really do. Yeah.
I'll give it a 6 out of 7, just because it wasn't a long conference, but they packed everything that we wanted, but also things we expected into that sort of. There was no filler. There was no guy coming out on stage and going, "Hi, this is the future of whatever."
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Good.
Last conference, and we'll probably end up wrapping it up after that.
Yeah.
Ubisoft.
Yay!
So Assassin's Creed, getting Egypt. Assassin's Creed. We're gonna kill the Pharaoh or something probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the origin story. It's called Assassin's Creed Origins. It's about the beginning of the Assassin's order and how they're they got their start in the world. I think Egypt is a smart place to put that origin story. So, I don't feel a whole lot. You do. You're a big Assassin's Creed fan. I haven't played anything since Black Flag, so go ahead.
I'm not really too much of an Assassin's Creed. The more I played it, I did play the heck out of it once I got my hands on like a few of the old titles, but also a few of the new ones. But I must bring this up because it's kind of bugging me. This is made with the same engine, even sound effects, animation for like running and stuff as Unity, and that came out years ago. I like it when the Assassin's Creed team, when they add new things like in Unity we saw the controlled descents and that was a great touch, but it wasn't. We're not going to be seeing too many leaps in terms of mechanics. I mean, besides the bird.
Yeah, that and controlling the arrow and all that good shit.
That part of the presentation kind of had me like, what? Controlling the arrow mid-flight?
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know if I like that. Only because that starts to get into the like supernatural stuff, and it is not very Assassin's Creed to me. I feel like that would be more appropriate in like a game that has like a world of magic. But if it's something they want to add, it's their game, and if people like it, people like it. So we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Mario and Rabbids Kingdom, they did talk about this at Ubisoft. It was unveiled at Ubisoft. And, Shigi Miyamoto came on stage with the head of Ubisoft, and they sat there and talked about it. And then this is why I brought this up for a second time, because I don't really care about the game that much to bring it up twice. But here's why. Ubisoft's identity is why. When they brought up the game, they pointed at the creative director for the game, who was sitting in the crowd at the front row, and he was straight crying, like because people were cheering and applauding their game, and Shigeru Miyamoto and the CEO of Ubisoft were sitting there talking about his game, and he just was so proud and happy. And as a developer, that is fucking beautiful to me. I love that this guy just was like raw passion, just a big ball of passion, and he was crying. Oh yeah, it took it home for me a little bit. I felt some man tears, welling up in my face.
It's a feel-good story. About time they gave the guy a chance to make the game he wanted to make.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people question Ubisoft's passion and whether they're doing it for money or not. Because they do give that EA or Activision vibe at times. nobody likes their Far Cry games anymore because of what or the Assassin's Creed games anymore, because it's all formulaic and it's just a cash grab at this point. But I mean that could change. But yeah, it was nice to see a developer from a company I'm not so sure about show so much raw, unrelenting passion, and it was kind of a beautiful moment for me. Moving on, The Crew 2.
Yes, back to my racing game sort of experience.
Motorsports.
I played the first Crew. Yes, play the first Crew. Not what I play racing games for. It's very story driven. I mean, we talked about how we talk about how Need for Speed's for the theatrics.
Yeah.
We got Gran Turismo for the tournament aspect. We have Forza for the library of cars or the library of tracks.
Yeah.
Or just the pure fun of it and Horizons. Ubisoft's Crew 2 is very story oriented, in the sense that there was this huge revenge story that I actually put the game down, the first Crew, after about an hour, just because of how just this cheesy, your brother was killed by some happenstance or whatever, and then you're sent to prison because you just so happen to be there, and it's not why I play a racing game.
And here's the interesting thing about The Crew 2, is that they didn't have any of that in their presentation. When they showed off the new Crew, they showed us just raw, unadulterated like motorsports. You can like, this one is like dynamic in that, and I think they're focusing more on the sport itself. And I think they're going back to focus on that, which I think is smart of them. But it's going to be every motorsport. And when I say that, I mean I'm talking like T1 racing and fucking like they're gonna have like actual like they're gonna have drifting and sports cars. They're gonna have muscle races. They're gonna have aircraft races and stuff like that. They're gonna have boat races. They're gonna have like off-road, like monster, like vehicle fucking races and all this other shit. They're like every single like sport you can think of that has a motor to it, and they're gonna have it. Like, it's what they're basically showing us.
I like the customization options they had in the first game too.
Yeah.
Just you can turn your Camaro into almost this monster truck if you got the right parts. But that was even a few things for that was even paywall, and I didn't care too much for that. And that's really the weakness with the Need for Speed and the Crew franchises. Is we're going to see a lot of paid DLC for content that really should just come out with the game.
Yeah, I see that. After that, Transference. Some weird game we didn't get a lot about. It was almost as mysterious as the Death Stranding last year. Transference is got the Elijah Wood as the creative director, and yeah, that's one weird thing. I don't even know how to begin with that. But I don't even know what type of game it is. I'm not sure if it's a VR game or if it's just a standalone regular game title. I don't know what, but it's looking pretty trippy. It's looking interesting. We'll see where it goes. If it looks like really existential, like hyper sci-fi like concepts. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, good on to Elijah Wood.
Yeah, getting into the industry, that's really cool. Yeah. I agree. You know what? If he sticks around and he keeps making games, all the more reason why I like Elijah Wood. I've never had a bad thing to say about Elijah Wood, and if he keeps doing this kind of shit, more power to him. Skull and Bones. This is the fucking title that got me rock hard at the Ubisoft conference. Pirate battles and ships online, and it plays a lot like Black Flag, but with a better mechanic, sharper play, and better objectives. Super fucking cool. You go in, you shoot your ship at the other guy's ships. It's teams of 5v5 from what I've heard, and and basically you get loaded into the area with your 5 buddies, and each one of you has a ship, and you're part of a pirate crew, like a pirate fleet. And another pirate fleet's there, and it's like supposed to be like a high risk trading area where like a bunch of like trading ships pass through, and you and the other pirate team like have to like fight out to see who can get the most treasure. and then you end up fighting each other to get treasure from them or whatever. Well, the government sends in their like fleet of like Navy ships with like sailors who like fight the pirates. So like you're getting shot at from your enemy pirates, you're getting shot at from the Navy, and like they're trying to stop you, and like whoever makes it out with the most treasure after all the treasure's like been dispersed, like before the Navy gets you, because the Navy will outperform you eventually. If you get out and escape with the most treasure than the other team, you win, you get rewards, whatever. It seems cool. It's really cool. It's really exciting. Anybody who's watching this, I like beg you to go watch the trailer for it. It's fucking cool. Listen to people talk about it. Watch people play it. There's an open beta. You can go sign up for it. I don't know when the beta starts, but it's gonna be some point this year or early next year, I think. I'm not sure. Keep an eye out for it. It's gonna be cool.
I'm looking at the screenshots for it. It looks like it came straight out of the Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah,
4
no, it
engine.
is very inspired from Black Flag. Oh, so inspired. But like, there's a lot more to it, I guess, is what they're making it just that basically.
Which was really why which is the only reason why I played Black Flag in the first place.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope they bring back shanties.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Oh, they are. Yeah. So, we're gonna move on. Far Cry 5. More of the same. Looks like
Yeah.
a lot of uninspired stuff. It's gonna be in America, in Montana. And there's like Bible Belt like cultists killing people because they're sinners. Very appropriate for what's going on in America right now. People are very, controversial, whatever, about this kind of shit. So I'm just gonna
We're in a spiritual civil war.
something like that. But yeah, we're gonna leave the politics out of this. I don't want to talk about this more than I have to. I don't really like Far Cry anymore. Used to be a fan, not a fan anymore. If they come back if they make this a good game, I'll look into it. The co-op looks pretty fun. Other than that, I'm not really interested. And the cherry on top for Ubisoft's conference, Beyond Good and Evil 2. Yeah.
That's a juicy, spicy little thing they gave us.
Yeah, no,
this presentation.
Oh man. And that's the thing is every E3 everybody's like, is there gonna be a Beyond Good and Evil 2? And no, it never happened for years and years and years. It's been 15 years since Beyond Good and Evil, the original, was released in 2002. Now we have Beyond Good and Evil 2 coming out probably next year. Doesn't look like they have a lot of development done. They did have a CGI trailer for us. It was fucking gorgeous. It was entertaining. It looked like it was something that's straight out of 2002, like art style and sound style. It was fucking great. Like immediately when I was watching this video, all I could think about was like the Gorillas, Linkin Park, and fucking Japanese kanji tattoos. So yeah,
we got Foxy Cleopatra on a freaking scooter bike from the future.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It just looks very fun.
I didn't play a lot of the first one, but I'm gonna go back and play it strictly for the sake of the fact that I am playing this game. The CGI trailer was enough for me to say yes to this game, and I feel bad not playing the original. So I'm gonna go back and play it. And also, this was another instance where a Ubisoft developer was presenting their game and straight up just cried. Like, this dude was on stage and he was like, it's been 15 years and I finally get to, make the magic happen. And like people were like cheering and clapping and he just couldn't do anything but fucking shed some beautiful man tears. And I'm just like, oh man, it wrenched my fucking heartstrings. I didn't shed man tears for the first guy. You're fucking right. I shed tears for the second guy. Oh man, I couldn't make it through Ubisoft twice. Oh man, there was no way. Yeah, so by the end of it, I felt something spiritual, man. It was real. So yeah, that being said, Ubisoft had a really good presentation. I say they have the best presentation this year, which is surprising. Ubisoft I've never thought that Ubisoft would ever be the one to take home E3. I think Ubisoft won E3 this year, which is straight out of left field. I never would have said that. Like, Like a year ago today at the last E3, if I were to know, like if my future self, like right now, went in the past and said, "Hey man, Ubisoft's gonna win E3 in 2017," which that's not what I would tell myself if I ever got to talk myself going in the past. I'd probably tell him like lottery ticket numbers or some shit. But no, I told him, I was like, "Hey dude, Ubisoft's gonna win an E3 in 2017," and my past self was like, if I were to hear that, I'd have been like, "No fucking way, dude, get out! You're not even fucking real. I'm probably high." So yeah, no, they get a 9 out of 10 from me. They get 9 out of 10 man tiers from me.
I would. I'm gonna say 3 out of 7.
Really?
They did great. Yeah, they did great.
3
They
out of
had
7?
3 out of 7.
What the fuck? Get out of here! You gave Nintendo a 6 out of 7, but you gave them a 3 out of 7?
Yes.
Get out of fucking town.
There's a lot to be said about passion. There's a lot to be said about. There's a lot to be said about Skull and Bones and Beyond Good and Evil 2. I'm very excited for those, but they stand on the same stage with Far Cry 5.
All right. You know what? You were entitled. You, sir, are entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
You're so entitled to your wrong opinion, but yeah, you're entitled to it nonetheless.
Everybody's entitled to their own stupid opinion.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You know what? You're right though. They didn't have a lot, but what they made up for in quantity, well, what they lost in quantity, they made up for in quality. The two, like Ubisoft only had, or Bethesda only had two things they really could show off.
Mm-hmm. But even they felt overwhelmed with their own work.
Well, yeah, but Bethesda didn't even show off anything rather amazing. Ubisoft had two amazing titles, in my opinion, that I really couldn't remark upon anymore. 3, if you want to count Mario vs. Rabbids Kingdom or whatever, because that's technically a Ubisoft title.
Right.
But yeah, what they made up for in quantity, or what they lost in quantity, they made up for in quality and passion. The 2 or 3 really good ones were really good, and that's why I think they stand strong, even though they're only a single developer. I wouldn't even consider Ubisoft a publisher, because every single thing that they publish is something that was made by a Ubisoft studio. Now, that being said, they have like 4 fucking studios worldwide. One in Singapore, one in Canada, one in France, and I don't remember. I think there's one in the US somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, something like that. But that being said, yeah, they are an independent developer. They're not Microsoft. They're not Sony. They're not Nintendo. They don't have their own hardware. They don't have a bunch of developers under their belt. There's just Ubisoft. EA has like 90 billion developers under their belt. Ubisoft has Ubisoft. So that being said, for what they have and what they showed off and like what they did, round of applause from me. So right. I mean, you know what? Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah,
they finished well.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
But overall, this E3 was kind of just.
We're more skeptical. With every E3, we're getting more and more skeptical. We have to approach games with a certain caution. You know, we had the hype of No Man's Sky. We had the Division hype. We had all this other hype stuff. So now we're finally calming down. We're going, okay, let's take a good critical look at this before we delve too deep and we do something we're going to regret.
Yeah. Well,
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. So overall, I don't know. I think that we were kind of I think this year's E3 kind of landed in a little bit of a bad spot. I don't know. Like Microsoft was really the only developer / publisher / whatever the fuck you want to call them, that had like what I would consider a reasonable amount of titles to announce. They had more than reasonable amount to do. They announced like 30 some odd titles. But yeah, everybody else, like Sony, didn't have shit. They had 3 new things to say. Bethesda had 2 new things to say. Ubisoft had like 7 or 8. Only about 3 of them I cared about. Nintendo did pretty well with that. They had like 6 or 7 things to show off. EA had like 6 or 7 things to show off. But yeah, I expect usually about like 12 to 15 from each of these conferences, and that was not the case.
I am very excited for the games, though. The games that we are ready for. and
Yeah.
we are approaching this with, all right, yeah, we'll check this out.
Yeah. But overall, I'd say this year's E3, despite the fact that there's some people who did really well and had really good grades, overall, this E3 I give a 5 out of 10. I think it was a lot of meh, a lot of the same, a lot of like yearly releases or IPs we already knew about. Sony's 4 out of like the 8 things that Sony talked about were, or not even 5 out of the 8 things that Sony talked about were something that they talked about at last year's E3. So, yeah, it was just a lot of meh. A lot of like repeat talks of things that we already knew about and things that were already unveiled. So yeah, it's just gonna be a 5 out of 10 for me. I don't know about you.
I'd give it a 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
Because we saw a lot of surprises
Yeah.
this time around, and
Yeah.
and not too many disappointments.
Yeah, I think this is the E3 of changes because usually
yeah.
Sony is the one that like is like the Mac Daddy King of E3, coming out swinging big dick with like fucking like 40 titles that we've never even fucking heard of. Like,
Right.
but now you're seeing something different. We're seeing Nintendo, we're seeing Ubisoft, we're seeing Microsoft showing habits of something we've never seen before. Microsoft is never known for having a lot of games or having a lot of exclusives. This year they showed off like 35 of those motherfuckers. They were changing the perception.
Yeah,
And
they gave like half of those titles too to indie developers.
Yeah, exactly. And like Nintendo is like I never thought like Nintendo would be like this strong at an E3. Like they did really well. Ubisoft did really well. Which Ubisoft, me saying Ubisoft won E3, I will never ever probably say it again, but I'll probably never ever would have believed it before. But yeah, so
And as long as we're talking to our past selves, if I told myself a year ago that EA would have free DLC for a Battlefront title, I would have lost my mind.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, this is a very. It's like I don't know. It's like I'm watching this with this E3. I'm seeing like the game development industry change, even if it is only temporarily or if it's not a permanent change. It is a change, and like this is the biggest manifestation I've ever seen of it. But that being said, oh, go ahead.
Okay, so the best way I can describe it is we're seeing a fatigue in anti-consumerism. They now that everybody has their money, everybody has their studios that they can have a concrete communication between. We're seeing more game-oriented focus,
Yeah,
and that's refreshing.
yeah, I agree.
Truly.
But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got to say about E3 this year. And
Same.
I just want to say thank you, Ben, for coming on the show and having a talk with me, and hopefully we can get some viewers who tune in and really appreciate the stuff we're talking about. Thanks again.
I'll send this to my mother.
I'm sure your mother will enjoy it. But yeah, and I think that's it for me. So yeah, that's
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks again, folks, for tuning in. This has been Orbital and our friend Ben, and we'll be signing out. See you next time.